Hello and welcome to Spicy Toast Gaming and our first impression of Tahm Kench. Going to be looking at the champion, his star powers, starting deck, champion level up, and what relics we think will work well on him. So starting off, let's take a look at his star powers. When an ally survives damage, grant it 1/1. That is very good. So Tahm Kench used to be in Path of Champions in the version 1, and his power was that he just gave his units more health. He gave it like 2 health at the end of the round, kind of what Galio does these days. So letting your unit survive damage, or when it survives, give it 1/1, that's pretty big. Granted, there are ones that like Garen that essentially do the same thing, but considering Tahm Kench's entire deck is about being tanky, this will be very nice. Alright, his rank 2. When you capture a unit, create a copy of it in hand, it costs 1 less. That will be very interesting because Tahm Kench, he's always generating these capture spells. So he's devouring units, either his own or the enemy's. And so essentially being able to pick any card that you want to be able to play, that'll be very interesting to play around with, and actually will give him a lot more depth than he probably would initially think. Alright, his rank 3, don't have enough to get that yet, but normally the rank 3 is essentially a doubling up of the first star power. So if that's the case, then it'll just be 2/2. Now normally they try to add some extra bonus on it, so what they might do is when an ally survives damage, grant it 2/2 and heal it. Something like that is probably what I would guess they would do, which would be pretty strong. As far as the champion, he is a 4/2/6, so very tanky. And then round start, he creates that acquired taste, which is that 2 mana slow. He captures a unit after it strikes him, if it's an enemy. Well, this one only targets enemies, but he is this one that lets him target allies. So he's constantly generating these ways to capture enemies. And so with that rank 2 star power, that'll be fun to be able to take the enemy and then play it yourself. Does it say exact? So it says create a copy of it in hand. It doesn't say an exact copy, so the wording is always sometimes a little ambiguous. We'll have to wait and see if you take one of their units that has a bunch of items on it, if they're copied over when you want to play it. If so, that would be extremely strong, but we'll wait and see about that. Okay, this looks like almost an exact copy of his first Path of Champions deck. The Citrus Courier and the Razor Scale you probably are going to want to cut potentially. At least I personally don't like high cost followers unless they have good items on them. We'll see what items they get here. That one's okay. I usually prefer if they just have the 1/1 themselves, but interesting that this gets spell shield so early. Alright, so this, the studded leather is usually what I prefer one of these to be. Alright, Bayou Brunch having Mana Potion is actually pretty nice. This will be something you want to play more, especially if you're able to make a copy of it. So if you get really lucky and have some crazy card that just has a ton of items on it, you can swallow it yourself, and then when you spit it out, you can have 2 of them since you get that copy. So the Scout is nice, and having regenerating is pretty decent. Especially with this being able to take multiple hits and potentially get bigger and bigger. Might actually want to hold on to it. Oh, right. When ally survives damage granted 1/1, and with his deck, all of these are immediately going to be damaging themselves. There's one thing I wasn't really thinking about. So it says do 2 damage to me, but then it's going to heal it, or not heal itself, but grant itself 1/1. So it's going to be actually a 3/3 at level 1, so that's not too bad. Definitely gain the power of every time you survive damage, also giving you 1/1 will be very nice. And then this round start deal 2 damage to me. This is going to be able to scale out of control. This is going to be the card that carries you games, especially once you get him to rank 3, and so it's always probably giving him a positive effect, even at 2 damage. Being able to play a couple of these, this is probably what you want to eat and then copy. Yeah, these will probably be the thing that win you most of your games. Okay, getting this down to cost will be very nice. This for 4 will be very good. The rank 2 Hex Tech Fabricator, always amazing. Okay, so his deck is actually pretty good, or the items on it especially. Probably not the best out there, but better than some of the other ones for sure. The best item for Tahm Kench always is the Berserker's Buckle. This is what would make him carry games last time in the first Path of Champions. I don't have this yet, but if you're someone that has a couple of these, throwing these on him will just make him absolutely unstoppable. Regenerating is also amazing. One thing to note, his acquired taste, when he captures an enemy, it strikes him. So you use that on weak units, they hit you, and he's going to be getting this bonus damage, and then his star power is going to be doing the exact same thing. So also putting Overwhelm on him, since he's going to scale up such an absurd level. You're not going to have the fastest deck because it's going to take a little bit to get online. Not like something like a Jax where you win in like 2 rounds. But you will be able to win pretty soon after playing Tahm Kench, I think. Especially when he gets upgraded. Alright, but that was just our brief first impressions of the champion. Very excited to see him back in Path of Champions. We will be doing a leveling video on him as well as a guide once we actually have played him a bit more, or a lot more, and leveled him up, both in star powers and actual champion levels. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. But I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching that video. We're putting out daily content for Path of Champions, so if that interests you, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment down below. We're just starting out here on YouTube, trying to grow the channel, so any help is greatly appreciated. Thank you, and have a great day.